Good day, everybody. This is Michael Leveris with Kevin Attkisson, a personal injury attorney in Ohio. And of course, we bring back Kevin to discuss different nuances of types of accidents, personal injury cases in the state of Ohio, because this is what Kevin does. And that's all you do, Kevin, is personal injury, correct?
That is correct. That is correct. That's all I do. I've been doing it for 26 years, and we're very good at it.
Yeah, and that's why I want to actually premise this video that it's very important to go to an attorney that does only one type of law, who has seen what's out there, seen the pitfalls, and Kevin Attkisson has seen it all in personal injury arena in Ohio. So that's why I encourage to contact somebody like Kevin in case you get injured. But let's get back to types of car accidents. We talked about rear end accidents, highway pileups. Today, I want to talk about side swipes. Sometimes they happen most in highways, but could be on the road as well, with two vehicles collide. What happens there? Who's at fault? What kind of recovery can you expect? What kind of negligence you have to prove on the other side? How does it work, Kevin?
Okay, well, in general, when you have a motor vehicle collision, somebody has done something wrong, and we call that negligence. They've failed to operate their motor vehicle safely. They didn't stay in their lane. They rear-ended somebody. I mean, these are all types of negligence. And if your vehicle sideswipes another vehicle, clearly you've done something wrong. Okay, now what we typically see is these types of accidents on the highways, on the interstates, where there's multiple lanes going in the same direction, and you have one car changing lanes into another car, and they can hit side to side. That creates an issue of fact. Okay, who changed into what lanes? Because if you're going to have two cars and they've got damage to one's got driver's side, one's got passenger side damage, and so the question becomes, well, who changed lanes into who?
Yeah.
Usually we know what happened. You know, my client will say, I didn't change lanes, and this car came into me. Police investigate. A lot of times there's dash cam video. We see that more and more these days. People have dash cams. Most big trucks have dash cams as well.
Right.
And so the investigating officer on the scene will if there's dash cam videos, they will want to see that and make a determination of who was at fault. These accidents can be very, very serious. We see accidents all the time on the highway where, let's say, a semi changes lanes. Vehicles are traveling at high speeds, okay, and a relatively minor impact in the accident could lead to, let's say, a vehicle going off the highway, rolling over, colliding with things off the highway. They can, even though they seem like, okay, they're minor impacts, one vehicle is going into another vehicle and sideswiping it, they can result in very serious accidents and very, very serious injuries. So it's very important to maintain your lane. Don't change lanes unless you can do so safely. The problem comes is with these big semis where they can't necessarily see as well as you can in a car, and they're changing lanes, and quite frankly, we've had accident cases where semis change lanes and force a car off the road, and they keep going. And so we have accidents like that.
Which is a crime. It's a crime to leave.
Well, it's a crime to leave the scene of an accident. It's true. But then these truck drivers say, "Well, I didn't even know." Well,
wow.
Who knows? But regardless, they can be very serious accidents. So it's important to be vigilant and to watch out for these big trucks. But if they do change lanes and cause a wreck, they're going to be held liable.
Kevin, what do you suggest if one was involved in this kind of an accident, sideswipe on a highway, and you don't have dash camera, but you want to prove that a car moved into your lane, right? Do you stay exactly where you are and wait for the police officers to arrive and put together a police report which would show what happened? Or do you think you can move aside, if your car is movable, move aside, let the traffic pass, and let the facts sort out themselves later?
Well, again, if you're on the interstate and you're going, 60 miles an hour down the interstate, and you have a sideswipe accident, you're gonna travel, well down the road before you even come to a stop. So you're gonna be away from the scene of the collision, assuming that it's just the side swipe, and then you're able to pull over and all that. But yes, clearly get off the highway if you're able to do so, and get to a safe location. Again, there could be a dash cam video. There could be witnesses who would stop and report what happened.
Right.
Who could have a passenger in your vehicle who knew what happened, and
That's
they
a
could
good
be a
point.
witness. Hopefully, both parties, drivers, would be honest about the way the collision occurred and who's
Right.
at fault for the accident. You can't always count on that,
Mhm.
but hopefully that would be the case. Also, there could be actual physical evidence left behind. Maybe there's debris in the street. Maybe there's gouge marks, things like that. We can determine actually where the collision occurred, and so that might be helpful. But quite frankly, a lot of times he's come down to he said, she said. If there's nothing else to rely on, and then we have to just fight extra hard to make sure that our clients
Of course.
get compensated.
And Kevin, you mentioned fighting hard. Part of fighting hard, sometimes you may have to bring in an expert to analyze, like you said,
Yes.
the marks on the road,
Right.
maybe even analyze dashcam footage, who knows. In such a case, where do you find those experts? Do you have such experts, and who pays for these experts?
Well, we have experts standing by, ready to investigate these accidents, and that's what you have to do. You have to do it quickly, as soon as possible. If you've been in an accident like this, you need to get in touch with us as soon as possible, so that we can get investigators on the job and investigating these things. Now, obviously, the police are going to do an investigation, and depending on the severity of the accident, the injuries, and all that, they might do a more in-depth investigation. They might do a reconstruction report where they have actual crash reconstructionists, which is a high level of investigation when it comes to a motor vehicle accident. We have accident reconstructionists we retain. I mean, there's also vehicle inspectors that we hire to like inspect the vehicles, do the download of the data in the vehicle recorders. So that we can get that information. We also have investigators who interview witnesses. So we have access to all of that. But again, we need to get going on these things as quickly as possible while everything is still fresh, and that we can properly analyze what happened to represent our clients. Now, in terms of the cost of these things, obviously it's what we call a case expense. We advance all this. If we need to hire an investigator, I hire the investigator. We retain them. We have them on a retainer, and then we pay their fees. In the end, it comes out of the case. In all likelihood, we're going to get a settlement. We're going to get a judgment. We take it to trial. Whatever. We're going to get a recovery for our client, and then we get our case expenses back by that. But we advance all of that, so that there's no delay in getting these things done, and we hire the appropriate experts to make sure that the case is fully investigated.
Perfect. Okay, thank you for clarifying. And you bring up a very good point. I just want to put extra emphasis on it, that time is of the essence. Like you said, it's very important to gather evidence as soon as possible. And it's very important to contact an attorney as soon as possible after an accident, to make sure that the attorney does their job to preserve the accident, advise the other parties, right? Maybe subpoena other parties, get all the documents, the footage, and so on. And we discussed before, and we will discuss again, there could be a statute of limitations issue. You may wait too long, you may then recover nothing from your case, even though you have the injury and you have the liability on your side. But because you waited, unfortunately, you may not be entitled to any award. So it's important to contact an attorney, somebody like Kevin Attkisson, a very experienced, seasoned attorney in the state of Ohio. And this is why we bring you on here, to educate the public on personal injury. Kevin, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.